Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Steph, and today I'm going to be setting up my sister's August bullet journal pages. Didn't post her July video, but for those of you who are new, I set up my sister's bullet journal 6 months at a time in advance and send it to her since she lives in California and I live in Virginia. That being said, I did all of this probably 6 months ago in February, so that's why I don't remember like which colors specifically I used. I do know all the colors that I used for the theme this month came from the large 50 color pack of Crayola Supertips, like a navy blue, an indigo color. You'll see what I mean. The theme this month is Polaroids or pictures because my sister and I used to take disposable cameras on our trips and things like that because this was back before we had cell phones, obviously. So we would get those photos developed and we always would enjoy looking at the pictures that we had taken, and they just obviously weren't as good as camera photos are today, but we had a lot of fun with them. So I decided to do this theme for August 2022. And then within the photos, I did a sunset pattern, very heavily inspired by Joshi Curran's video that she did probably around that time. It might have been February or March. She did a sunset theme where she did these big bars of colors in a rainbow sunset situation. Anyway, I used washi tape to try to keep the lines as clean as possible. You don't have to use the washi tape, and I end up giving up on it later on just because it's more of a hassle than it's worth. I was really struggling with it, and I just wanted the cover page specifically to look very crisp. So that's what I was trying to accomplish with the washi tape. I'm not sure, again, how effective it actually was. But I digress. Again, for anybody who's not familiar, my sister, I got her these bullet journals at Michael's when they had like a sale. She had never used bullet journals before, so I wanted her to see if it was something she would actually use before I invested in a more expensive journal for her from like Archer and Olive or anything like that. So this is just like a generic, I say generic, it's not generic. This is just a regular bullet journal. I think I paid like $9 for it at Michael's. It's the Artist Loft Premium. It has 120 GSM paper. That is great for a lot of things. I personally prefer the thicker paper of the Archer and Olive, the 160 GSM, so I don't use them anymore, but I had purchased these journals originally intending to use them myself before I ended up buying Archer and Olive ones, and then I just had them left over and they were sitting around before I decided to use them to make these for my sister. Again, I digress. As you can see, I am trying to get the idea of a very layered sunset without it. It's not going to look super realistic, but I am super happy with how it turned out. And I just do black mountains because I wanted something to kind of not just have it be a rainbow. I wanted it to clearly be a sunset. So the black mountains give it more of a landscape feeling. And then I just kind of touch up the empty white spaces with the colors, which is why if you don't use the washi tape, it can still totally be fine as long as you're really careful about not going over the line, so to speak. And then I just colored in the mountains and any other, actually I think it's only mountains. Again, it's been like 6 months since I recorded this. I believe it is only mountains for the decor, for the landscape of this theme. And again, I just used the black Crayola Super Tip for that as well, which isn't a true black, you know, like an Archer, like a Tombow brush pen would be, or an acrylograph in black, or even a black pen. But I wanted it to be kind of that almost black since it is a sunset, so I could draw the lines of the mountains, which is why I went with the black Crayola Super Tip for that. So I thought that turned out really pretty. Simple, it's easy to set up, and you don't have to be any kind of artist to accomplish this type of theme. It is really just a lot of squares and bars of color. The quote I went for is, "You don't take a photo, you make one," which is by Ansel Adams, famous photographer. I just thought it kind of had the right number of words to go with the theme. I had the right number of colors to change it out for every little photo. And then for the calendar, I did 6x5, which is what I usually do. So it's 6 boxes long by 5 boxes wide, plenty of space to write. In my journal, I write bill due dates on there so I can see like on the month when those bills are going to be due. She may write appointments. I don't know exactly how she uses it, but you can write whatever you want in those little spots. And then rather than leaving the gap for that first Sunday, since the month started on a Monday, I just made that first box a Polaroid because it was the right shape and size for that. So as you see, I created a miniature version of the front cover there for that Sunday, and then I take the rainbow pattern colors and I am just going to stagger them so that they, yes, you see what I'm doing. I don't have to describe it. Anyway, I apologize also if you are hearing noise in the background. It decided to rain and my skylight just magnifies that sound pretty intensely. So I think as much as possible I'm going to try to let the background music take over, and I will see you guys back when I need to. normally I don't use a ruler quite so much, but obviously with the Polaroid theme, I wanted those lines to be extra sharp and crisp, so I used the ruler for everything. I also used the ruler for the mini calendars, again because I wanted the lines to be extra square and extra sharp to match the theme. I didn't want to have really hand-drawn looking mini calendars, you know, to kind of clash with the super crisp edges of the Polaroids. And then for the font, I really just did like handwriting cursive. I didn't do anything remotely fancy. I chose the handwriting because that's what you do at the bottom of a Polaroid, is you write on them in handwriting. So that was the theme there. For the mood tracker, she has so many options with this kind of a mood tracker. She could either color the blocks in a color to represent her generic mood, or her general, not generic, her general mood. I am struggling with words today, even when they're in front of me. Anyway, she could do the blocks of color. She can do layered colors to represent different moods she's experiencing. She can also, if she wanted to, use those little spaces to draw a photo or a doodle to represent her mood. Really, whatever she wants to do. It's a Polaroid. You can do anything with a picture, right? So that's what I went with for the mood tracker. And in retrospect, they definitely do look like little tube TVs now that I'm looking at them, but they're supposed to be Polaroids. And all that line work later, I will show you what the first weekly looks like. Actually, all the weeklies look like this. I recreated it for every single one. But this is the final flip through. There's, you can see what her July looked like. It was a fireworks theme. It was very basic, inspired by Amanda Rach Lee's theme from, I think, January of last year. Anyway, I digress. Or this year. I digress. I love how those photos turned out. You can also kind of see what it would have looked like if I just did the colors. It just would have looked like a rainbow theme and not like a sunset. So anyway, super happy with how it turned out, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you next time.